That's excellent.
None of us. They look alike now, yeah. Funny how that happens. Are you ready? I'd like to call this meeting of the Coventry Town Council to order at 6:33 p.m. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Here.
Councilmember Shockley.
Here.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Here.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Here.
President Lima.
Here, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Emergency evacuation plan. Members of the public present this evening can exit out in the doors in the back, either 1 or 2, to the back parking lot or the front lawn of Town Hall. At this time, I'll seek a motion to approve the November 7th, 2023 open session minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Make that
I
motion.
wasn't going to do them as a block because I know there's members who weren't present for certain ones and we were going to get the ask to, yeah.
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Pasqua,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Ludwig. Madam Clerk, I just had one, and members of the council, I hope you'll accept it as friendly. Line 242, page 6 of 7 on the minutes, page 11 in our packet. We're just missing a 3 on the year, November 28th, 2023.
Okay.
Did you receive any other corrections for November 7th minutes?
I did not.
Any further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Abstain.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Abstain.
President Lima.
Yes.
3 in the affirmative and 2 abstentions. Motion passes.
Moving on to the December 6th open session minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc. I will second. That was last week, Archipaldi. Second by Councilman Pasqua. Discussion. Clerk, did you receive any edits?
I did not.
Any discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Abstain.
Councilmember Shockley.
Abstain.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
3 in the affirmative and 2 abstentions. Motion passes.
Moving on to public comment on docketed items only. Are there any members of the public who would like to make a public comment on docketed items? Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Any members of the public on Zoom? Please raise your hand to be let in. State your name and address for the record. I saw a hand go up briefly. Yep. Good evening. Just unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record.
April Leach. Do you want the business address or my personal address?
Oh, business is fine.
Okay, it's 47 Sandy Bottom Road in Coventry.
Welcome. Go ahead.
So I have my business victualling house license that I'm supposed to be getting approved, and I'm asking for a little more time to get a few things situated. My annual report wasn't submitted last year, and I need to get a letter of good standings.
Can you just state the name of your business? Is this the Coventry Nutrition?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not looking for approval this evening. You have other items.
So I mean, I would like to get approved with like more time to finish getting my stuff situated. I was supposed to be approved. I didn't realize my annual report wasn't submitted last year, so I need to get a letter of good standing before I can finish getting the approval from a few of the I think the sewer department, and I called about the fire department. I haven't heard back from them yet, though.
Okay, when we get to that item on the agenda, we'll confer with the clerk and see where your checklist stands, and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other members of the public on Zoom, raise your hand to be let in and unmute yourself. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Public comment on docketed items is now closed. Moving on to licenses. At this time, I'll seek a motion to open public hearing.
Make that motion. I'll second.
No public,
Wait, do I need to open public hearing?
there's no public hearing.
No, no public hearing. My apologies. I withdraw that motion.
Rescind.
No, I think it's just left open from that section on the agenda. It's confusing. Item A, applications for renewal of campground licenses. Sub A, a Yoho Campground, 249 McManus Road, Coventry, starting on page 15 in your packet. Do I hear a motion to approve the renewal of the license?
Make that motion. I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Pasco, second by Vice President LeBlanc. Manager Perillo, any comments on this application?
No concerns.
Anyone present from the campground? No. Discussion from members of the council? Madam Clerk, have they met all the checklist items for this?
On this particular one, they have.
If there's no further discussion, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
B, Water's Edge Campground, 119 Peckham Lane, Coventry, on page 17 of our packet. Do I hear a motion to approve the license renewal?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Pasco, second by Councilmember Shockley. Manager Perillo, any comments?
No concerns.
Madam Clerk, looks like all the checklist items have been met.
Correct.
Any further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
C, Hickory Ridge Family Campground, 584 Victory Highway, Coventry, page 18 in our packets. Do I hear a motion to approve the license renewal?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Pasqua,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Manager Perillo, any comments? Discussion, members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
D, Glamp Frogmore, 2260 Victory Highway in Coventry, page 19 in our packets. Do I hear a motion to approve the license renewal?
Make the motion.
Motion by Councilman Pasqua,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. I didn't ask on the other two. Anyone here from Glamp Frogmore? No? Manager Perillo, any comments? Any further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Item B, application for new victualling license, Coventry Nutrition, 47 Sandy Bottom Road, Coventry, pages 20 to 21 in our packets. Do I hear, to get discussion rolling, do I hear a motion to approve the license? The
Make a
application?
motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Shockley, second by Vice President LeBlanc. Madam Clerk, we heard reference from the applicant that there's some items missing. Can you help shed some light on what's missing on the checklist for this applicant? for the council.
So I don't have the packet in front of me. I know that they're missing their good standings. So this would be approval contingent upon them providing the good standings and anything else that we're missing.
Would you recommend, Mr. Solicitor?
Based on what the applicant had to say to us tonight, the good standing is unattainable at the moment, given that taxation has to sign off on it. Taxation, when you allow your corporate status to lapse for failure to file an annual report with the Rhode Island Secretary of State, in order to reinstate, which is what she would have to be doing with the Secretary of State's office, they will not accept a reinstatement until the State Division of Taxation provides a letter of good standing, say that there are no taxes due. So that's what she's waiting for, most likely. Based on what I heard, it's a common, it happens. But we don't know if there are taxes due. That's the issue. The other question I would have on this, and we've seen this in other locations, the business name is one legal entity and the property owner is another. I don't know if they're the same.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The business applicant is Coventry Nutrition LLC and the property owner is
Ava.
Just as a, I think she's in a shopping plaza. She might not own, I would assume.
I just didn't.
Oh, she's got her hand raised. If you can bring her in.
Yes, I just rent in a shopping plaza. There's a shopping plaza, I forget the name of it, but it's 47 Sandy Bottom Road, right near the subway and all that.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I am on the tax thing that you were talking about. I settled that with them. I just sent in my annual report. I'm waiting for them to approve that, and the letter of good standing has been sent in. So I'm just waiting for them to get back to me on all that. This all came about like a week or two ago. So I got everything handled and I'm just waiting for approvals.
Should we vote on this tonight or wait till January 9th? Discussion from members of the council. Councilman Pasqua.
Can we make the motion to approve this license pending the receipt of a letter of good standing from the Secretary of State?
Yeah, we just have to amend the motion.
Make a motion to amend the motion to instruct the clerk to hold the license upon approval for receipt of the letter of good standing from the Secretary of State. I'll second it.
We have a motion to amend from Councilman Pasqua, second from Vice President LeBlanc. Discussion on the motion to amend. Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
We're back out to the amended motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Moving on to item C, application for new victualling license, Hash New York System, 656 Main Street in Coventry. This is on page 22 and 23 of your packet. Do I hear a motion to approve the application?
Make the motion.
Motion
Second.
by Vice President LeBlanc, second by Councilman Pasqua. Discussion? Is anyone here present from? Oh, would you like to come up? No. Yeah, come on up. We like to meet our business owners. Yeah, hi. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. All right, we have a question if you want to come up. Just state your name for us for the record. Oh, just flip it on. You can see it says on. There you go.
Cheryl Ionetta.
Great. Councilmember Ludwig.
Can you just tell us a little bit more? Just based on the name, there's a couple things running through my mind. I just want to make sure I understand what the business is.
It's a breakfast and lunch diner in a New York system.
So, what are the hours of, just the general hours of operation?
7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And then closed after that, or just it turns into something like dinner or
Yes,
something?
closed. And closed on Tuesdays.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And Madam Clerk, they've fulfilled all items on the checklist. Okay. Okay, based on that, I don't know what the pleasure of the council is to do contingent or. Yeah. Can you just come to the mic? Just yeah, just for the public record, sorry.
So I'm the co-owner. David Haynes. David Haynes, co-owner, and we have all the sign-offs from all of the fire extinguishers, the hood inspections, all of that stuff. We have all the paperwork. But the Central Coventry Fire, we've reached out to them 4 weeks ago when we got the letter, and they have not responded, and they have not set up an appointment with us, but we do have all the paperwork signed and stamped. So we don't know what else to do other than we can give you all that paperwork and information, but
And unfortunately, we don't control the fire district. So.
nope. And unfortunately, we don't control them, but we do have all the paperwork stamped and signed.
Yep.
But we're waiting for him to just walk through. But we do have all of the paperwork signed and all the updated fire extinguishers and the hood inspections and all of everything's 100%.
If I may, I think our town engineer would like to speak. Mr. Levesque. Can
Good. How are you?
you just turn on your mic, Joe? Thanks.
Joe Levesque, town engineer. Did you receive approval from the town of West Warwick for the sewer application?
We sent everything in.
So I haven't received approval from them. I'm in receipt of your application, but in order for the town to approve it, I need to get the approval from the town of West Warwick. I've reached out to them today. I didn't hear back from them by the close of business, but I will check again tomorrow.
Well, we sent everything out to everybody.
You don't recall getting anything back from?
We did not.
Okay.
And we sent all the
'Cause-
checks out that everybody's looking
Yep.
for. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, I mean, we're kind of, our hands are tied. First of all, the business was
Yeah.
already up and going. So it's like,
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
so there's one of two things. Either we shut the business down.
I'll just stop you right there. You're not the only one. We went through this with all of our December
So
1st.
straight.
We went through this with all of our December 1st expirations, and we did a provisional extension to our last meeting of the year, December 19th. I'd say the options would be the contingent or the hold the license, or I don't know, the contingent until the fire inspection's done, or we could move this to the 19th. I don't know if there's a hope that an inspection would be done in the next week. My understanding is that CCFD is caught up on their list, last I knew from the town manager. So I don't know if. Okay.
We haven't even received any communication. But we have all the receipts for everything. So unfortunately, we're standing waiting for them to contact
Yep.
us. So, but we have the receipt of everything that we needed to accomplish. So again, frustrating because we're doing all the right things. And again, we applied for all the permits. We've paid all the fees. And again, the Bob Rose came out. He inspected the grease trap before this even came about. So when I went down to pay the fees, they're like, oh, well, he's gonna come out. I said, he just came out 2 days ago. We had a receipt
Mhm.
of when he came out and everything. So we've tried to comply with everything that's supposed to be going on. It's very hard to do business as a small business. And then this is kind of like, we did everything we supposed to. We paid all the fees
Mhm.
and now.
I
this is
hear
where
you.
we're at.
I hear you.
It's frustrating.
I totally get it. You're not, I just want you to know you're not alone. It's not that you have all your ducks in a row and like a lot of other businesses that we can extend it to the 19th. So I don't think anyone on this council has an interest in shutting anybody down 5 days before Christmas. So
No,
I would say the options would be, we could do the provisional approval like we did last month to the 19th and put it with the others that we had on the list. That would be my recommendation, but Councilman Pasco, I know you had your hand up.
2 questions. My first question is, this is listed as a new license, but this is operating currently, right? This has
Correct.
been in business in the Harris section for quite some time, I believe.
correct.
It's right near the Harris Bar and Grill, I think.
And we've applied numerous times and we've sent a check-in, and it's been,
So why are we doing this? If it's
We have no
already
idea.
been,
Mhm.
So this business, we took over in 2001. They approached the previous business owners and they never came forward. They never sent them the license. I think they got approved for a license and then we took the business over. So they opened it in 2019. They went through all of this. We purchased it in 2021. We were just approached and received a certified letter from the town of Coventry stating that, we needed to go fill out an application and then 2 more applications in the town of West Warwick because of the way the wastewater goes into West Warwick, but we're doing business in Coventry. So 2 applications, $700 to West Warwick and another $250 for the connection to the sewer in Coventry, which the sewer is already connected. We don't own the building. We just opened up business there. So for a $50 license, we're at the tune of almost $1,000 to get this license. And now are we supposed to contact West Warwick to let you know that we submitted our
No, I know you
applications? And when
submitted
are
it.
they going to contact Coventry? Because we need our license to operate.
Like we physically handed the paperwork off. I grew up in Coventry and I do business here. I'm a contractor. I know I do a lot of business here. So
But that's to answer your question, why we didn't know, like, we thought the victualling license was all set. As a new business owner, we have to connect to the sewer again and do all this other we don't, like I said, we just opened up a business there. We pay rent. We don't own the building, so.
so this is to become compliant on an order from the town because of a transaction that happened in 21.
Well,
The change of
we took the
ownership.
business over. I don't know
It
why the
sounds
town
like
waited
it's-
till
it
this
sounds like
year to
the-
contact us.
Yeah, it sounds like the victualling license wasn't being renewed for this place year after
Gotcha.
year, and it was caught, and now they're asking them to come into compliance.
Understood. Okay, that makes more sense.
Well, I
Like, knew
guess
the
so.
book was open.
Yeah.
That's my guess of what's happened here.
I mean, that sounds right, because this is the first time we've gotten a certified
Yes.
letter and said we had to come up with our menu
That's-
and
yeah.
our, all of the things that you required for the application, so.
That would be my guess.
Well, I mean, they're operating. They seem to be, there's no complaints, there's nothing going on, so I would be in favor of amending the motion to move them to the 19th to get them
We'll do
approved
the
of the block.
provisional, so at least they can operate till the 19th.
Yeah,
like the
agreed.
others.
I don't want to see them get shut down.
I'll
second it.
Well, wait, no, we don't have a formal. We just did. Oh, all right, we're calling that.
Let's
Okay.
call it a motion.
So we have a motion to amend the main motion from Councilman Pasqua, second from Vice President LeBlanc. Any discussion on the motion to amend? So basically what this is doing is it's keeping your license current until the 19th. Hopefully you'll get a fire inspection between now and the 19th.
The 19th of this month?
Yes. That,
What do we do to push the fire department to come out?
Well, I call, no one answers, and then you gotta go through this whole thing,
I'll
and
give
then
you
it
the
says,
chief's
go on
email.
this website.
I'll give you the chief's email.
And the lady at the town hall of Coventry helped me go.
wait,
I went to the website and I said, I request an
We've
appointment. I
been,
have
the
a,
town's been in contact with them. As I said, we had dozens and dozens of, we had at one point over 40
Mhm.
licenses that were just waiting on fire inspection. So again, you are not the only ones. We've been in very stern contact with CCFD to say, we need you to keep up with this. We're not in the interest of closing businesses down. We did a favor to them and gave them more time because technically on December 1st, all of those licenses would have lapsed because they didn't have that. We did a provisional approval for, I think it was 30 licenses that needed the fire inspection to December 19th. From what I've been told, almost that whole list, with the exception of 4 or 5, has been completed for fire inspection. So we know that they really went out and did a bunch of them. So the town is in contact. We're not just throwing you guys a life raft and saying good luck. Like we're pressing them on it, and this will be something we follow up with them on. I do not have the impression that you guys are underachievers at all or delinquents. This is for us to, we're not trying to give you a hard time. We're continuing it to the 19th. Your license will still be valid until
so how
then.
will we know, I mean, I know we'll know when the fire department shows up, but
Yeah.
how will we know about West Warwick?
So as far as West Warwick goes, I will keep following up with them. If I don't get any traction with Bob Rose, I'll reach out to his supervisor. I'll let him know the situation. If there are any deficiencies, we need to know sooner rather than later, so you guys can get it repaired or
I
up,
mean, he said the trap looked good and he walked out. I didn't get any.
So it should be just a simple administrative approval. I don't know. I'll have to keep checking with them to see if I can get an answer. But I'm all set on my end. I need approval from them before I can approve.
All right.
All right.
All
We're
right, thank you.
Sorry about that. We just, no. And again, it's, your license is contingent upon this vote going to be, extended to the 19th. I'm hoping that we can follow up with CCFD and let them know. And it's really also too about the town's liability. If we didn't provisionally extend this and God forbid you guys had a fire,
Oh, no.
there's
we do
liability.
everything
Yeah.
right. We don't
No,
wanna
no.
have it.
And I appreciate that. And I want you, I hear you and you guys aren't alone, and I don't want you to think that this is just you. So.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry what you're going through. Any further discussion on the amendment to the motion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Back to the main motion as amended. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Really good breakfast, actually. Resolutions of the council, item A, resolution 2023-92, approval of purchase for a rooftop unit RTU to control heat and air conditioning at Coventry High School in the amount of $29,770. This is on pages 24 to 26 in your packets. We have a letter from the Director of Facilities with Coventry Public Schools, as well as the resolution on page 26, titled Purchase of a Rooftop Unit RTU to control heat and air conditioning at Coventry High School for $29,770. To start discussion, do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc. Second by Councilman Pasqua. Discussion, Manager Perillo.
So during our monthly meetings with the superintendent and the finance director on the school side, they had asked to utilize impact fees to purchase this rooftop unit for the school. The balance of their impact fees is $266,000. And they like to utilize, again, that $29,770 to purchase this unit for the high school.
Discussion from members of the council. Councilman Pasqua.
I would assume this went out to bid and this was the bid that we chose.
Yes,
Master
they
price
use the
agreement.
MPA list. Yep.
Councilmember Ludwig.
I think this may be for the manager. So when we say this is coming from impact fees, which impact fees? Fees that have been collected and are sitting in an account somewhere?
Yes, but for education.
I thought we had an open question about impact fees over the last year or two on where they were being held.
We just got last week from you guys the latest chart with where the amounts for all of the impact fees for each department and allocation, and then the total collected, right?
Director Savetti updated the list. The list you guys last got was probably sometime over the summer, I said, before that, and then we sent it out last week with the update. So these are impact fees from new construction in the town.
So is it held in an account that the town, I don't know, owns? Is that why it's coming to us for approval versus just having?
So we have
School
all the
committee.
impact fees here at the town, and the schools requesting to use that portion of it out of their allotment. So we don't just give them all $266,000. We try to keep a little bit of control over that.
How is the percentage broken down though? Like, is Mr. Savetti? I remember the email you're talking about. I did not look through it. Yet. Can you just give us an idea of how that's monitored? Like, how do we know that this 29,000 exists for the school, for example? I'm not saying it doesn't, but how do we know that this comes out of that portion?
Well, I don't know what the percentage breakdown is. I think there's 7 categories of impact fees. That,
Education gets 30% of impact fees.
so that breakdown
based
gets
on this.
appropriated. The fees come to the town. The director appropriates them to the entire fund, and then that fund is broken down by the percentages.
I'll take a look through. I personally have been swamped with work recently, so I apologize for not being able to look at that. I'm gonna take a look through that, and maybe I'll just set up some time with Mr. Savetti.
Yeah.
I don't have any issue with this particular item. I'm just wondering about the fees in general and how they're allocated.
We have this on a list legislatively to kind of go through this process and also look at the impact fee schedule based on, I know right before I was on the council that you guys were asked to make a decision at your first meeting. We haven't really fleshed out kind of planning through that. And then how to effectively strategize around impact fees as well. But I totally get your point. And just if you want to make a note, this was December 5th in your inbox,
Okay.
if it's hard to find. But,
Thank you.
Solicitor Angel.
Just in general, council, the council has control over the apportionment of impact fee money. By law, it's held in a restricted receipt account. It's not held in the general fund, just so the council is aware if you're not. And then each department, if you will, that has a share, like in this case, the school department gets 30 cents of every dollar that's held in a sub ledger just for their use, but with the approval of the council to do so. So that generally is the framework.
Further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Item B, sewer tie-in application, 484 Fairview Avenue, Assessor Plat 63, Lot 128. This is pages 27 to 39 in our packets. The resolution on page 39, 2023-93 sewer connection, 484 Fairview Avenue. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Mr. Levesque.
This is very straightforward. There already is a sewer connection lateral installed on the main. It's just very basic connection from the lateral to the building.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Just for anybody listening to this meeting, back in 2008, this property paid $26,400 for the original sewer assessment, and then the new owners are going to be paying a betterment assessment of $43,029. Just wanted to make that public.
Councilmember Ludwig.
So the betterment, I thought we had one, did we not address any betterment items in our, remember when we did like, it was approximately a year ago, we capped it at 15K. There were a couple other approvals that we did in there. I had thought, was this just like on our to-do list to like keep talking about?
So the changes that we made were more residential in nature, not anything else.
Okay.
So, but I think the thought was that we were going to continue on to changes to that ordinance, but it hasn't really.
At some point,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Moving on to item C, resolution 2023-94, tax assessors additions and abatements for December 2023. This is on pages 40 to 44 in our packets. Resolution on page 44, number 2023-94. Do I hear motion to approve the resolution?
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilman Pasqua, second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. Ms. Martini? Can you put the mic on?
Oh, I thought
Thank
it was
you.
on. I'm sorry. Nice. So we have abatements this month, $98,233.24. Additions on the prorate roll, we have $7,961.63. And the supplemental roll, we have $14,483.80.
Vice President LeBlanc?
Thank you. Can you just talk about the $82,000 abatement, please?
Sure.
Any details to that would be appreciated.
So that is, that's a property that has a consent order. The consent order requires us to tax 2 properties at combined 20% fair market value, and then 80% at 8% rent, pardon. And then the other 8% rent properties send me their entire financials. This particular property sends one number. So I assumed that they sent me the right number. And they did not. So I only had the one number. I don't have all the numbers to look at. They send me 100% instead of 80% like the consent order says. So I used the entire number for the 8%.
And did something similar happen last year to this property, or? Just
I
curious.
haven't really delved into that yet, so I don't really want to speak on that. I don't really have the information, all of it, so.
Got it.
It possibly.
Okay. If we could just get some additional information, or at least for me, I would just like to know on past years, if this has been a consistent issue, or if it's just a new issue this year. That's all.
Councilmember Ludwig?
I had the same,
Oh, okay.
I had the same item.
Solicitor Angel?
So the council is aware, there was a consent judgment entered in January of 2014. I have it right in front of me, 2014. And it is an agreement between the plaintiff, Springfield Armory Limited Partnership, and the town of Coventry. And it was signed off on by the assistant solicitor at the time. So this is a valid consent judgment as to the apportionment. What went on in the past, Ms. Martini's probably right. Given her tenure here, she probably doesn't know, but I'm sure she'll find out what was done in the past. but it would seem to be consistent with the formula that's laid out in that judgment.
Councilor Shockley.
So when it says building characteristic change, have they actually changed their building, or the impression that we're under of their building has changed?
No, I changed, that's their, I don't know which one you're actually referring to, but most likely it was an appeal where we either had something wrong or something overstated or understated. And that was the change.
Gotcha.
Councilor Ludwig.
I don't know if we're thinking of the same one or not, but can we specifically look at on page 41? This is the first three on the pending abatements. So the first three are building characteristic changes.
Yep.
75 Airport Road, and there's also a duplicate items taxed as, assuming that's personal property.
Personal property, yes.
So just why are there multiple line items for one property?
They're not one property, they're different properties.
Oh, so it's
It's 3 different properties.
okay, so 3 different properties on Reservoir. Got it. Okay, so this middle address is just the owner, I guess, of the physical property.
Mhm.
So let's take 2 of them as an example, please. 15 Reservoir Road, 31 Reservoir Road. So building characteristic change. So we're looking to abate like 10K here. Do they have to go through the appeal process in order to make it onto this, or is this something they can contact the office and work directly with you
No,
on,
these
or
are these are appeals.
have to be appealed? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Moving on to council business matters carried over. Item A, updated approval of Narragansett/Verizon to be granted permission to locate and maintain poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustain and protecting fixtures to be owned and used in common by you petitioner along and across the following public ways. A, Reservoir Road, installing 35-3, pole 36-84, 24-foot southwest from pole 36, installing anchor guy on pole 36-84 with 5-foot lead southwest. This is carried over. Manager Perillo, I believe you had tried to get in contact with Verizon.
Yes, I left
for
a
these
message.
two.
Sorry, yeah, I left a message to see if they could join us once again, and I never got a response back.
What's the council's pleasure? Councilor Ludwig?
So, I do see there's an update on there's, what page is this? 46?
Yeah, it
89?
does say updated approval, yeah.
So did they I don't know, this is a question maybe for Mr. Perillo. Who submitted a quote unquote update here? Was this, did they just send this in again and then they just wrote on the?
Yeah, I think they sent it to Joanne.
Yes, Wendy, and her last name is Paluch, Paluch. She sent an updated map.
Is it though? Because it still says October 26th on it.
Let's see. Right. Is that the station?
Oh,
That's Reservoir.
Oh, everything, yeah, this is, the initial is 11/6, dated still 10/26.
So I can tell you what's changed on the map. I have both the old version and the new version. And it just looks like pretty much they took the red line on the map. It was going,
Wait, are you doing Fairview now or are you doing Reservoir?
We're on,
it's, it is, it's,
we're on Reservoir
oh, we're on
Road.
Reservoir. Okay, maybe wrong one. Reservoir. This is Reservoir. So Reservoir looks like, they just added in. They added in the blurb. And that's really the only change that they,
This is referring to as the.
yeah, that's the only thing that's changed on this, the writing.
This.
So they just give you a description.
Customer wants,
So I'm wondering about the prior location
customer
and
wants-
why they have to move it. We're wondering about the place they were hoping to move it to.
And why was the customer listed? Did that mean they talked to them? Does that mean that person's okay with it? Like,
They just sent me the updated map.
there's been no motion, but the floor is still with, Councilor Ludwig.
Thank you. So I have a feeling we're gonna do something similar for both, so maybe we can talk about the second one also. The only update to the second item,
Mhm.
very similarly to this map, they put in like a red line. And my original problem with that was that they're asking to do stuff on private property. And the map does not match what's on that private property. That's a driveway right there and a parking lot. So I don't think their map matches. And I haven't talked to that homeowner since we did this last time, but I don't know if they've actually contacted the property owner. So I would actually be in favor of continuing both of these until somebody from Narragansett gets us appropriate map here. I wouldn't be able to answer to a resident, where is this pole going? Is it going smack dab in the middle of in the front of your house? I can't answer that, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what's the pleasure of the council with respect to business matters carried over items A and B?
So can I make a motion to continue both matters to January?
A particular date in January, we have the 9th and we have
I
the
think the-
23rd.
The 9th is probably fine.
So we have a
That's-
motion from Councilor Ludwig to continue matters A and B to the meeting of January 9th. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Councilor Pasqua. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Would the council like to instruct maybe a letter be sent instead of just the phone call to the reps at Narragansett or in Verizon? I'm sorry, Verizon.
Can we ask Manager Perillo if you could maybe make a list of some of our concerns? So I noted the map itself is not updated versus what the comments are saying. I don't know whether or not the resident has been contacted in the Fairview Avenue item. It does not match that there's a driveway there versus they're putting a little picture of a tree icon. It's not clear to me exactly where the new poles are going, and I'd like to know exactly where the new poles are going. I don't know if anyone else would like to add anything.
Well, I'd also like to point out, we didn't have this problem in the past. So,
And it's not like we're
Either-
not approving no polls.
right, either they have to come in for these, which sounds very inconvenient, or they have to create a better map so that we can have a better understanding of where the poles are going.
Maybe they should. Yeah, could we ask for a satellite image of it, actual physical satellite image and receive an overlay over a satellite image?
Mhm.
That'd be better.
All right. Thank you. Moving on, public comment for undocketed items. Are there any members of the public who would like to make a public comment on an item not on our docket this evening? Just come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Yeah. We operational,
Yes.
Madam President, fellow council members, Mr. Angel and Mr. Perillo, Steve Riley. I live on Johnson's Pond. I'm back here before you again. I've seen you 3 times earlier in the spring, a couple of times over the early part of the summer. I'm here tonight. I apologize. I submitted this information a little late, but I've got 4 enclosures which represent articles that I've prepared since my last packet of information to you folks. And I'm also embarking on a petition to collect signatures with the intention of presenting it to the General Assembly, asking them to undertake this Johnson's Pond issue as part of their 2024 General Assembly session. And I'm here before you tonight. I consider us on the same team. And unfortunately, I have no clue what you folks are doing on the Johnson's Pond issue. You know everything that I've put forth and the direction. And I think if you read some of these articles, if you haven't seen them on the Facebook group Save the Pond, you'll know where I think this needs to go. We haven't heard from the state on this subject ever. And I'm putting that in the context of the General Assembly taking a position with the initial civil suit that the new owners brought against Rhode Island DEM, which they then converted, if you will, to a federal suit. The General Assembly has maintained silence, and we can't comment on something that's in litigation. Fair point. But as I've told a senator recently, everything that I've put forth is apples and oranges to what the new owners are claiming in their suit. And if anything, I suggest that what this research that I've uncovered suggests is that they don't even have standing to be pursuing it, as ludicrous or as preposterous as that may sound. So with your permission, I'd like to present this to Madam Clerk. It's the draft petition that I'm going to proceed with, and it's the 4 other enclosures, which are articles that I've put forth. And I'm going to say the public trust revisited and the one on the 1982 amendment tell you everything you need to know about where I think this needs to go. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Madam Clerk, if you could just distribute what he's passed out to the, I think you have it electronically as well, to the council. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other members of the public in council chambers, public comment on undocketed items? Doesn't look like we have anyone on Zoom. Mr. Amatrano? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Public comment is now closed. Moving on to introduction of new matters before the council. Item A, approval of Narragansett Electric to be granted permission to locate and maintain conduit wires and fixtures, including the necessary sustain and protecting of fixtures to be owned by our petition along and across the following public ways. A, New London Turnpike, intersection of Tiffany Road and New London Road, P9181-2, P9181-4, P9181-6. B, Arnold Road, intersection of Crestwood Drive and New London Road, P87-84, stub pole to support New Junction. Item C, New London Turnpike, intersection of Arnold Road and New London Road, install approximately 900 feet of duck bank from new RP 9181-6, New London Turnpike to new RP 94-4-1 Arnold Road. install 3 two-way manholes. This is pages 49 to 61 in your packets. What is the pleasure of the council? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ludwig?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilor Ludwig to approve,
I'll second.
second by Vice President LeBlanc. Manager Perillo, any comments?
No, I did not reach out to Narragansett Electric on this one.
It's my understanding, based on trying to weed through what was in the, how it's listed in the agenda. I believe this is the vacant lot in that four corners before you, if you're coming up Arnold Road and before you turn right towards Center New England, it's that vacant lot, the only undeveloped lot in that four corners there. That's how I interpreted this. Councilman Ludwig?
Just want to point out to the council, if you hadn't already kind of seen this. While I don't understand all of the acronyms used, such as PL or, you know, the dotted lines, when I'm on Arnold Road, the circles and dots line up to where I see poles. This is, I guess, better than what I did not want to approve on the other side. I can see where the circles are. I can see where they want to put things. So this is even better than what was on the other side. Also, because there's sidewalks in these locations, I think it's easier to visualize where it will go as opposed to the other residences. There's no sidewalks, there's nothing. So you don't know where they're going to put this pole, how far in, that kind of thing. So I personally am comfortable with this, but I would like to hear from President Lima, as I believe this is your area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I said, I went and did a quick scout on my commute home one day this week. I don't have any issue with this. Like I said, it's either the sidewalk or it's within the bounds of that 3 foot of the undeveloped land. So I don't have an issue with this. Any further discussion from members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes.
Solicitor Angel?
I just had a comment in terms of the paperwork that I just read on that last petition. Narragansett Electric doesn't exist anymore. It's now Rhode Island Energy. So if you looked at their petition, it still says Narragansett Electric. So, you know, to the council's point on just general sloppiness, if you will, with paperwork, it seems to be consistent. It's just a thought.
Item B, acquisition of server/comfort dog for Coventry Police Department. It's on pages 62 to 89 in our packet. Manager Perillo, did you want to tee this up for the chief?
So this is something that the chief brought forth to me as kind of what's been happening in PDs, not just locally, but across the country. Cranston has a comfort the comfort dog, really, that's what it is. Cranston has one very successful program. Cumberland just started one last week. It was in the paper. Kind of the same purpose that we plan on utilizing in the schools for the children, along with the use of any kind of victim of a crime. The dog obviously is used to help the person who's been victimized to relax and be more helpful to the investigation. So this is an opportunity for the town of Coventry to take advantage of some really generous donors who want to see this program move forward with, I feel, relatively little expense. So with that, I'll turn it over to the chief.
Thanks, Chief. Laying it on thick with the cover slide, huh? We're gonna have to comfort the dog. Okay, sorry, Chief, go ahead.
So the comfort dog would be an asset to also the police department, the officers themselves. They go through some and see some hard stuff, some serious stuff, and being able to kind of unwind with the dog would actually help them too with coping with different things they see. As far as the uses, we would look to use it as an SRO asset. It would be greeting the kids when they come in, seeing them at dismissal times. Also the events, the coffee with the cop and stuff like that. We'd have the dog at those, the 4th of July events, various things like that. We would also, like as the manager already mentioned, we during sexual assault victims interviews with them, children and things like that. We'd also have them at those to assist. We'd actually train it. I'd look to have it trained to be also search and rescue for missing people. It would have to go through the other trainings first, but then later down the road have it be able to search for missing people. As far as some agencies, like the town manager mentioned, these are some of the other departments that have it already in Rhode Island. And it's been a big success with their departments. As far as cost, the initial startup, there shouldn't be much of any cost, if any, with the donations we're looking to receive. It would cover the cost of the dog, the food, the medical, the grooming, and also the training for the dog. Right now, we're also researching a patch program. Warwick has one. I think there's a few other departments that have them, where they sell patches for different events, like could be like St. Patrick's Day patch or things like that. And the money generated from that, we look to offset some of that cost for the dog, as well as donate to charities. So as far as the cost for the dog itself, we're thinking it'd be about a $7,000 increase to the upcoming fiscal budget. It hasn't been discussed with the union yet, so that number could change a little bit, but that's what we're estimating right now for the care of the dog. That'd be for the handler to be taking care of the dog.
So it's common practice that the officer that takes care of the dog and houses the dog gets a weekly compensation or stipend of anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of overtime for taking on those responsibilities of having the dog. So that would be the ongoing costs if we were to go in this direction. Again, I think it's beneficial long term. I think we're just kind of doing what other departments are doing, and they're doing successfully. I mean, I know firsthand the comfort dog in Cranston is an all-star. They've made shirts of it, coffee cups of the dog. It's at every community event. The kids love it. So anytime you can really utilize anything in addition to help community involvement and get the kids excited about seeing a police officer, I think it goes a long way to just kind of really rounding out what we're trying to accomplish with the police department.
Discussion for members of the council. Councilor Ludwig.
No body cam, right?
What's that?
No body cam for the dog.
No.
The only thing I wasn't clear on is someone possibly identified? Do you think you have someone to take the dog?
It would have to go out to bid to the union. My thoughts would be it would be an SRO, and then that way it's in the school all the time. We'd be able to utilize it that way.
So there's an interest.
There is an
from,
interest.
Okay. Just personal wise, I do see benefit in introducing ways that we can find ways, even small ways, to help with mental anguish. I know that that's one of the top complaints that I hear about not being able to either calm situations or not being able to get the right people in situations. Or enough, I should say enough people in those types of situations as opposed to counseling and different things like that for the different situations that we went on during our training 2 years ago with the program Counselor Shockley and I went in Citizens Academy, as well as some of the ride-alongs. So I think I've been on at least one official ride-along. So I would see value in introducing something into the community that helps with that traumatic events and a personalization of the police department, as opposed to just the body cams and the new cars and, you know, that type of thing. So I would be in favor of approval tonight.
Councilman Pasqua.
I think another aspect to this too is first responder mental health is really starting to become a forefront and an issue for both police and fire. And so different departments are looking at ways to address it. And I think this might be helpful in this situation. It offers a decompression tool for the police officers after tough calls. It's around the station. And so there's also a benefit internally to our own staff to having something like this, not just the immeasurable benefits to the public. So I think this would be a great addition to Coventry Police Department.
Vice President Blank.
I'd like to echo those comments. And then on a less serious way, maybe we could have them come here and maybe we could actually get people in the seats. That would be great. And then it might also help our licensees with our central fire inspections. So, but thank you. It might lower the stress, but thank you.
Any
If I can just suggest, maybe if someone from Rhode Island Energy shows up, we can have them here for that night
yeah.
too.
But sorry, and I fully support this.
I won't belabor the points made by my colleagues, but I will say I appreciate and hear on page 67 of our packet, the proposal about the community unity patch program. I think that makes a lot of sense. Bringing people, something to bring people together around. And I look forward to supporting that effort in any way that we can.
Thank you.
So, what's the pleasure of the council?
Motion approved.
I'll second that.
So there's a motion on the floor to approve the acquisition of service/comfort dog for the Coventry Police Department. Motion by Councilman Pasqua, second by Vice President LeBlanc. Any further discussion? Councilor Shockley.
So, thrilled about the dog, but just a question, because I was reading about the insurance. So this is just automatic. There's coverage for therapy dogs. So dogs that are for this type of purpose, there's a coverage for that and it's free?
So I believe, if also if you don't mind.
Just so we can make sure we understand all the costs. And I know a dog can get sick and it can become an extremely expensive.
Under the trust.
It said under the trust for a year, and then it's covered under.
Service dog does get covered under the service plan. Actually, Officer Ferry has some information as well.
I get the feeling she's getting a new puppy soon, so she's like.
Sorry, I have no voice. Middle schoolers will do that. But so it can be, the dog is a sworn officer of the police department. Thank you. So it would be covered under the trust as a police officer on the job. It is also covered, it'll be trained as basic puppy training for the first year. You know, and it gets actually the company that we went through, they're born and bred service dogs. So mom and dad are born and bred service dogs. So they start their service training when they're at the breeders, and they take them to colleges and schools before they even come to everybody. So after that first year, that's when you get the certifications through the breeder of the comfort therapy and so on and so forth. And then it's a yearly re-up for certification. So as far as the insurance, it's under the trust 100%.
Great, thank you. Any further questions, discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes,
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Thank you.
thanks, chief. With respect to executive session, Mr. Solicitor, I think you had requested to continue to the 19th,
I'll make that motion.
both. Motion by Vice President Blank to continue items A and B under executive session to the 19th. Any second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Ludwig,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
At this time, I'll seek a motion to adjourn at 7:43 PM.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Vice President Blank, second by Councilman Pasqua. All those in